Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Rundown Reviews. I wanted to come in here real quick to just say that there's going to be some things thrown around in the next hour that it's probably true. So, originally, we were going to be watching the Star Wars Clone Wars micro series and the Star Wars Clone Wars movie. I made the executive decision to not watch the micro series because we are watching movies, not TV shows. So the next hour will be Chuck bitching about why we should have watched the micro series and not the movie. So I'll go ahead and bring in everybody else here. We've got Jordan, we've got Ron, and we've got
fucking
Chuck.
piece of you don't even have any goddamn idea what I am about to unleash on you.
Chuck
you
was
Zack
probably
Snyder boot-licking crotch goblin.
Chuck was probably yelling the whole time that you blocked us.
The entire time. The second I realized what I was like, you motherfucker. I hope you muted. I hope you muted me. You piece of shit.
Oh, that's great.
That was so angry at you right now. To be fair, that was really good. I had that coming. So
that was
so yeah. Welcome to the Rundown Review.
Yes.
Brothers,
so yeah, we watched
Gender Resistors. No, I'm doing my intro. You owe me.
Okay.
Brothers, sisters, gender resistors. He's right. For the next hour, I'm going to talk about a completely different thing that I watched instead of the actual fucking thing, because we were told to watch both. I watched both. And if Star Wars The Clone Wars, which is what we watched, the 3D version, is indicative, which I just recently learned what that word means. I'm sure
that's where you put a dick in something, right?
Yes, 100%. Which makes a lot of sense of why people on this network like a certain character now. If this is indicative of why Ahsoka is a good character, then this is worth. This is going to get a lower rating than episode 2.
I really have to stop you right now, because if I would have watched this before I watched the Clone Wars cartoon, I probably would have liked Ahsoka less. Mm-hmm. But luckily for me, I watched the Clone Wars first, and then I went back and watched this, because I didn't even know this existed either, to be honest with you. Which I didn't understand where Ahsoka came from, obviously, but she is a lot better of a character than she is in this movie.
Yeah, I had
Ron.
Also, Chuck, you went about it the wrong way. You should have just taken notes on the 2D version also, and then just spit them into here. Like, you guys remember when that one time when Anakin always sounds like he's a little whiny bitch, or like that whole time where the clones didn't speak, or how powerful the Jedi are in this one? They're like 100 times more powerful than normal.
Also, there was a wolf Jedi that was like super cool, and also one that like shook the ground with his mega lungs.
Yeah,
there's also Mace Windu who almost murked a kid. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the kid. I was waiting for the joke to be the kid like hand him the water, he drinks it, and then just dies because it's poison.
This is what I don't understand, Joey. Explain to me, like I'm a 5-year-old. When I was like, oh, the 2D one's awesome because it gives us Grievous and it's super rad and looks cool, that you were just like, no, I'd rather watch this thing that has it isn't even baby Jabba. That's not baby Jabba.
No, it's Jabba's son.
Yeah,
it's a baby Hutt.
Right. You said that we get a baby Jabba.
When did I say we get a baby Jabba?
Baby Yoda to Grogu and just pissing everybody else off too.
Well, you're not gonna like my Jordan explains the movie quickly then, because I do refer to him as baby Jabba.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't understand because we got Ventress in both of them, which was great. I like Ventress as a character, a lot of fun. Liked it better, like that the 2D version better. But regardless, you took away the only good redeeming thing of these two that we could have watched. So now I'm going to shit specifically on you the next hour, just so you know.
So
I think we have to change the rating for that.
I'm fine.
I mean, we kicked off of YouTube. Just so you are aware, look, I wholeheartedly agree. I believe that the 2D version is better. 100%. I know, Jordan, I think we were talking in the group chat, you have a little bit different opinion, and that's fine. That's what it's for. It's opinions. But we are reviewing movies. Movies, not TV series on Rundown Reviews. If we did TV series, it'd be small screen rundowns, which we don't do those anymore.
At least not yet. Or wait, you've
Well,
done those?
We did like 10 of them.
Oh, I don't remember that. Where was I?
Yeah,
Why
back,
was I?
back in the day.
I think you were actually still on a podcast of your own.
Oh, probably. I didn't.
Yeah, there
I
was
didn't have
that.
any time.
Yeah, it was like during COVID. We did like a couple of the Marvel stuff, and I think we
Mm.
did Lock and Key on there.
I think so, yeah.
I do remember that
Yeah, we
actually
didn't do a lot of
because
them.
I like Lock and Key, and I did listen to that episode. I do remember that now.
Haha. But no, like this, I saw this in movie theaters, and I remembered it being better.
Mm.
Now, that being said, that was, what,
20 years ago,
16 years ago, something like that. Because it's 2008 is when it came out.
Mhm.
But I don't disagree with you about Ahsoka being a whiny little bitch in this one.
Mhm.
She becomes a better character as the show progresses.
I have to watch a series, which we're not watching because we don't watch series on this show. Therefore,
We're not watching
anything that was done after this did this come out before or after?
Yes, it came out. Ironically, so this was supposed to be the first 4 episodes of the show. George Lucas saw it and was like,
why are we watching it? If it's 4 episodes of the show smashed together into a fucking movie, then it shouldn't fucking count. Your logic, not my logic.
No, I said it was supposed to be. If you let me fucking finish, no! George Lucas said that he saw it, really enjoyed it, and decided to put for those viewers, you can't see because Chuck is muted. But
that's the listeners. The viewers can see Chuck's muted. The listeners can't.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, the listeners. But anyway, so he made the movie because he really wanted the movie.
Can we describe what we think Chuck is saying right now?
I'm sure he's called me a lot of bad things.
I think he was saying Dave Filoni is amazing. George Lucas knew exactly what he was doing. This movie should have had a longer theatrical release run.
Anyway, but what I was going to say is that apparently the DVD date for this movie was already set before the movie was set to be in film in theaters. So they did this ass backwards.
I can see Chuck's face turning redder as he's waiting.
I mean, he can talk. I've unmuted him. I muted him like a minute ago.
I much like my girlfriend, who says that I just steamroll her in conversations when we're in arguments. I'm waiting for you to finish, Joey.
Okay, I am done. Now,
much like your girlfriend, you're waiting for Joey to finish.
It's not fair that you use this example of it's the first 4 episodes, but they got smashed into a movie, so therefore that counts as a movie. And you won't let us watch the 2D one because it's objectively better. All right, I'm done complaining. Let's move on. What was the kill count?
We're not having a 10-minute episode. I haven't done a 10-minute episode forever.
I did create a quick plot breakdown for Chuck because
go ahead, please.
In the case,
please explain it to me.
Yeah,
I mean, actually, this was pretty easy, but
because there was a fear that Chuck was just not going to watch this out of spite. So I was like, you know what? I'll explain the movie to him real quick. So for our listeners,
explain the plot quickly. There you go. And that was that was kind of that was like Pakistani.
Yeah, what do we need a soundboard for when we've got Chuck?
Chuck right there. He's got why did I even make that on my show? So here, let's go through for our listeners that maybe haven't seen this in a long time or ever. There's some clones and some droids. They fight a lot. Jabba the Hutt has a kid, and I choose to believe he reproduces asexually because I already have enough bad thoughts in my brain. Count Dooku and Asajj Ventress kidnap baby Jabba so they can pin it on the Jedi and pretend to rescue him. They totally mess up, so now they're trying to kill baby Jabba and pin that on the Jedi. Totally mess that up too, so now they don't get to use Jabba's fancy shipping lanes in the Outer Rim, and Anakin has a Padawan now. That's the movie.
That's accurate.
That's pretty.
Yeah. So here's the thing about so the 2D one. Let's go back there real quick because I'm the opposite of you, Joey, where I I didn't like this when I first watched it. I actually hated it. I thought it was the worst thing ever made. It ruined Star Wars for me. So much so that I didn't watch the Clone Wars series until like the 3rd season, and then I went back and watched everything and got caught up to the 3rd season. Going back and rewatching this now, I actually liked the movie. And I think it's because a lot of my complaints early on are not really complaints anymore. One of my biggest complaints is I thought that the music was really weird because it wasn't by that point we just had the mainline Star Wars movies and they were all John Williams, right? The same music through everything. This one was like very weird, but now we've had enough Star Wars TV shows with like different composers, different directors that this doesn't feel un-Star Wars anymore like it did to me before. And then I remember thinking, oh man, all the characters are really annoying in the movie, but really only Ahsoka is the only one who's annoying. And now knowing that she becomes good, that doesn't bother me as much anymore. So I kind of had the opposite of you, where the 2D one, which I had never watched before, I had to grit my teeth the whole 2 hours I was watching it because I hate that dude's animation style. It's why I can't really watch Powerpuff Girls for longer than 5 minutes at a time. It's why I never really watch Dexter's Laboratory. It's why I've never seen Samurai Jack. There's something about it that is very off-putting to me. The same way that when I watch claymation Christmas movies, I have to grit my teeth too. It almost feels like nails on a chalkboard to me when I watch these like animation, like certain animation styles, and I don't know why. My brain, there's definitely something going on in there, but that the whole 2D time, I was just like white knuckling it through.
And especially in like the late 90s, early 2000s, you would have been like
pretty young,
older teenager, teenager, older teenager.
Late 90s, early 2000s, I would have been like 11, 12-ish because I was 89.
I keep forgetting we're old. So
I mean, I'm old too.
Sure.
Speak for yourself, Joey. I'm not 40 yet.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're so close. But like that's the animation style that was your generation. Like if you look at the animation we had back when we were younger, Ron and I,
it was awesome.
It was like the hand-drawn stuff, and it was the cell, like some of the cell animations. I know that's really more like early 80s and
but I love stuff like that, like old G.I. Joe, Transformers, the 90s X-Men. Like I love that animation style. There's something about this guy's. There's something just so off-putting.
I love Samurai Jack too. Like I love Samurai Jack when I first watched it.
It's how I feel about Ren and Stimpy. And I know that's supposed to be off-putting, but like I don't feel like this one is supposed to be off-putting, and it's very.
I didn't even have a problem with the animation style. I had a problem with like the excessive powers that apparently Jedi only had for this like little blip of time, and every single one of them, like, and I get it that it's part of the animation style because it's more anime than it is like actual, like Star Wars cartoon.
Yeah,
but it just kind of like because you go from this, and then previous to this and past this, Jedi are fucking useless.
Yeah, this one, they definitely took on a bigger role, obviously, in the Clone Wars. What we saw at the end of Attack of the Clones and at the beginning and really most of Revenge of the Sith, I agree, they were kind of like holding things back. And maybe it's because in animation you can do a lot more. We see that in cartoons. We see that in anime. So I don't know, because I agree with you. In the 2D one, they were amazing.
I mean, it's cool as shit watching it, but at the same time, it's
terrible. Can I explain it now? Can I explain it now and why they're more powerful in the 2D one? Actually, like, can I actually do that now? Okay, so if you ever played the Star Wars role-playing game, the tabletop, like D&D version of it, there's a thing within the powers of like using the Force and the Jedi that it amplifies the race's abilities. So all of the things that for the most part were happening with the Jedi in the 2D were actually more based on their race abilities, and then it was amplified by the Force itself. So they are using the abilities that they kind of already have, but using the Force to amplify that with that ability through focus and meditation. The thing is, majority of the actual Jedi that we actually see throughout the rest of the movies are all humanoid that don't have any real additional abilities.
Mhm.
So
That's fair.
we don't see that.
But even in this one, like Anakin's got like fucking souped up Jedi powers more so than any other time, even when he's
Yeah,
Vader.
No, yeah, you're right.
Well, until we
get a
get,
hold of him in a lot of that.
I'll say until we get like what Obi-Wan, where he's like pulling like the whole fucking ship down like with
Mhm.
no effort at all, and
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, Starkiller does that too.
Yeah, but Starkiller
Also,
is
Star Killer's not canonic, okay?
not yet.
I thought they finally did. Yeah, I thought they determined that he is finally canonical.
Starkiller base is canonical. Like that's where they
But
finally
not
brought
not
Starkiller
Galen,
in.
the character of Starkiller.
Yeah.
He's not shown up in any canon stuff yet because Force Unleashed is not canon anymore.
I thought he was in a comic, but okay. I don't know. I don't follow the extra stuff.
Was
enough.
his weird Sith version Sith Stalker or whatever? Was he in a comic? Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I just thought he was. But I also hate this animation. I hate the 3D animation. I love the 2D animation, but I also love that artist. Like I love that version. I love Samurai Jack. I love Primal.
Tartarovsky.
I
And
love
don't get me wrong,
Tartarovsky.
I don't think he's a bad artist. I just don't think that art style agrees
I get
with
it
me.
because I look at the 3D like version and I hate that style.
And see, that feels like a warm blanket to me.
No, I hate it. It's one of the reasons why I've never watched the Clone Wars series.
Because so when you watch the Clone Wars, listen to it and paint something or work on something else. That's what I did because I also am not a big fan of the 3D. Mostly because especially in like the first 4 seasons, it's 3 seasons, it's super clunky.
The first 2 seasons are very clone heavy. Season 3 started doing more like Jedi stuff. Jedi stuff throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, but by the time they get towards the end of it, like
get very political by like season 4.
Well, but what I'm saying though is like by the end of it though, like by seasons like 5, 6, and 7, like they have the like lightsaber battles to where they actually look like lightsaber battles instead of too clunky rock and stock and robots with lightsabers.
In season 7, the battle between Ahsoka and Darth Maul was
motion capture,
choreographed and motion capture. It was Ray
killer.
Park and
that makes
somebody
more
else.
sense.
It's amazing.
It looks so good. I would say, honestly, Chuck, if you're never going to watch the Clone Wars, just watch the final 4 episodes of season 7 because you really don't need to know anything else because they're characters you've already seen before. Darth Maul's there, Ahsoka's there, Bo-Katan I think is there, or one of the Mandalorians is there. Like,
I think
is it Bo-Katan or is it the other girl?
Basically, it's not Sabine.
Not Sabine.
Okay. Rebels.
No, I mean not her. The one that Obi-Wan had a flame with.
Oh no, she's long dead.
Oh
yeah, she died in
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Or 3. I don't know. She did.
But honestly, the animation is so much better in those last 4 episodes, and the story is so much better.
I was watching this, and I'm like, the animation in the 3D movie, this is terrible. Everybody's like all pointed. But I had also just watched the new season of Bad Batch literally Wednesday. Like it, and that
shit, I forgot that's out.
Well, it's funny because I haven't been able to watch it because I had to watch this. Everyone at my work is like, when are you going to watch Bad Batch? I'm like, I have to watch the Clone Wars movie. Sorry.
And this is the reason why he actually quit the other podcast, was because he was getting behind on his stuff watching old fucking shit.
Couldn't take it anymore.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
It was wrecking his social life.
Yes.
Chuck, you don't look happy. What else you got on your chest there, buddy? What else you want to say?
About this movie or about life? Because I don't think you got enough airtime for that. Look, the fact of the matter,
we're only at 19 minutes. You got some time, bud.
I will talk about the few things that I did like about this. Okay, I'll give you that, because this isn't. I think I went into it more mad because you took away 2D. You took it away before I had watched this, so I was already pissed that I had to watch it. I knew I wasn't gonna like the animation to begin with, and then they introduced Ahsoka, and I was like, "Oh, this is Dan's favorite character." And then seeing just how annoying she was, I was like, of course this is Dan's favorite character. Like, Dan doesn't know how to write women either, so this makes a lot of sense. For legal reasons, that is a joke.
I don't think Dan listens. We're fine.
Yeah, I'm not. What is he gonna do? Not talk to me more? Okay.
No, you're
but
gonna
the
get us canceled too.
Slow down. Okay.
Look,
I killed
has
my
already
own
tried
thing.
to.
All right? I injected the poison. Nobody else did. Okay, just know that.
I think Chuck been trying to get us canceled since he got on the show. So
yeah, I don't know.
That hasn't worked. Dan won't do it.
If Ron can't do it, then like nobody's doing it. You know what I mean? Because
I haven't tried yet. Should I try?
No.
No. At least not on an episode I'm on. I like to keep my job just in case my boss hears it. But my biggest takeaway was I like the dialogue is atrocious, real bad. Some of the worst like I know it's written for children, but it didn't have to be written by children either. Like there's a lot of really good ways to write things for kids and have the dialogue garbage. And I know, what was this, 2006 you said? 2008. So I guess like I get it. I like they still hadn't figured it out on how
Dave
to like write a
Filoni
good
had
script.
also done Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right.
Correct? Yeah, and that was that's a good kid show.
Yeah,
that
but that's
dialogue.
literally it's funny.
Avatar was amazing.
I was trying to think of like dialogue wise. I was like, well, what's a kid show? I was like, oh, Avatar. Last Airbender.
Great
is
dialogue.
a perfect example of like written for kids. Bluey is like written for little kids, and it's still better dialogue than this was. Like legitimately. But I did enjoy the droids. Like the droid slapstick stuff, that really worked for me and like saved a lot of this movie. But like any interaction between Anakin and Padme, well, Padme too, yeah, that was kind of like awkward and weird. Like
the Padme scene with Zero was just like, I think I actually have written down that her outfit looks like the Bene Gesserit from Dune. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Dune, you would understand that reference. But apparently that headdress was actually a unused prop from Attack the Clones. And there's actually a picture of Padme, Natalie Portman in that. It looks terrible.
Just that?
I don't know why they. I wish. But no, I don't know why that they decided that's a good idea to bring that into this movie.
You know what's funny? The Zero is like my new favorite character only because the moment that we started seeing Zero was I felt like I was watching Roger Rabbit. I was like, what is this weird voice? What is happening? When did we go into Looney Tunes? Like, what is going on?
I will say I did laugh because apparently the Hutts have a thing for Twi'lek girls always being dancers. I don't know why.
I can give you a couple reasons.
Yeah.
Those reasons were in this movie because they were all like fully dressed.
Everyone's got their own weird kinks.
Have you never used your imagination to undress somebody, Joey?
No, I have.
Have you never heard about Mormon Twi'leks? Come on.
Good point.
They will take it in the ass. Oh.
But speaking of Zero, Jordan, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because you would probably know better than these.
Because I'm a Zero. Yeah. What's up?
Because the Zero's droids, the symbol that was on them, was that the black sun symbol? I couldn't remember.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Zero had the black sun symbol on him as well. Yeah. So this is a nod to, and I don't know, did we get the Black Suns in the Clone Wars in the first season? I don't think we did in the first season.
Not in the first season. I don't think they showed up until later with Maul.
Yeah, it was like 3 because Maul starts with the Black Suns. And for those of you who don't know, Shadows of the Empire, Black Suns, the book and the video game, that was what Zizix was the leader of them. And also they made a reappearance in Solo: A Star Wars Story, I believe, right? Black Suns, Maul was in charge of them again. Yeah, so
and then they've been in the comics with Kira and all that.
They're essentially bad space pirates. Like that's what they are.
Basically, yeah.
Are they canon now? Because I didn't think
yes.
Shadows of the Empire was a canon.
No, Shadows of the Empire is not canon.
No.
Oh.
But they brought.
But they
Black
took
Sun
what they
is.
wanted out of it and then made that part canon.
Yeah, because we still don't
But
have Dash
that's the
Rendar.
thing, though. Like, that's
I
something.
was gonna say, isn't that where Dash is from? And everybody's like super pissed that he's not considered canon or whatever.
Yeah, they should have
specifically Pony Danza and nobody else.
I thought Dash was going to show up in Rise of Skywalker, which probably would have brought it from like a 0.5 to like a 1-star movie. But like, I feel it's weird they haven't brought him back yet or brought him into the canon yet.
I mean, but that's the thing with Star Wars. Anything like they will bring. They will not throw away stuff. Apparently, the elevator in Zero's palace, whatever you want to call it, that was supposed to be jail cells from Cloud City that Ralph McQuarrie wrote drew.
Great.
So, like, they will reuse or they'll use things that aren't used in the movies somewhere else.
So what you're
I think
saying
is one
is
of the good things
a
about Star
personal
Wars.
vendetta against people who love the most stuff. Like
there's a reason why Mara Jade has not been made yet. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I think
that's never gonna happen now, but
I think the best thing they brought of Ralph McQuarrie's, like in the later stuff, was in Rogue One when they had Vader's palace. Actually, like that was always such a cool drawing he did that they never used in any of the main stuff. I was like, thank God they actually brought that in at some point because it's such a cool.
Yeah, because once they threw in the Rogue One, then they started throwing it in the comics. So like it's
great.
Things get used at some point in time in Star Wars canon. Nothing gets thrown away at Star Wars. Things don't get used sometimes, but nothing gets thrown away.
Just recycled.
That's because they're owned by Disney. Haven't you ever heard of the Vault?
Well, now they're owned by Disney, but like the Ralph McQuarrie stuff was way back when George Lucas had it, back in the 70s and 80s. So
yeah, but I'm sure that when Disney bought everything, they bought everything.
Oh, probably. Yeah. So
they did. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Clone Wars deciding that we're not going to do any crawls at the beginning? We're just going to do, whoa, it's old-timey space guy. He's telling you what's going on. Like, what
I actually like that.
Do you?
Isn't that weird. Isn't that the commander that was like at the beginning of the movie too?
Yularen, yeah. Admiral Yularen. Yep.
I don't mind that because it meant that I didn't have to read while I was listening to the show. So
any reason not to read? That's why.
I love reading, but it's really a pain in the ass to read while you're trying to paint. Also, so with him, saying it instead of having to read it, it works out for me.
So, one thing I did really like, because to be fair, I am saying I liked this movie more than the first time I watched it. It doesn't mean I necessarily think this is a great movie by any means, or stitched together episodes by any means. But one thing I did really like about it that I forgot is the voice cast. I really do like the people they got for the voice cast, which is interesting because what's his name? James Arnold Taylor, I think, or James Arnold Taylor. He voiced Obi-Wan in the 2D and in the 3D, but I did not think the 2D one was good because he played it very angry. Where in the 3D one, he plays it very much like Ewan McGregor, like kind of like, I'm just your goofy uncle, Like,
it was also 5 years prior,
That's
so
true.
they were probably having him do, because the Obi-Wan we get from the series is different than the Obi-Wan we get from Attack of the Clones, from Revenge of the Sith, from the original trilogy, like from the Obi-Wan TV show. Like, I see what you're saying with the 2D versus the 3D, and maybe because there's been more of the 3D, I like that version of Obi-Wan better. Also, everyone else, like, the sad thing is that, and I mean, I say sad, but it's still kind of like fine. Samuel Jackson and Christopher Lee both voiced Mace and Dooku respectively.
Holy shit! Christopher Lee voiced Mace.
Yep, I said respectfully. But like, it was one of those things where, because this was supposed to be a TV show first, they already had the other voice actors from the series do those voices, and then when they decided to make this a movie, they went in and redubbed, obviously, with those two in over the other guys. So it's sad for those guys, but is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the voice actors got their paycheck, it's fine.
I hope they
They
did.
got to do it later. They got to do it later.
I think they got a better paycheck, if I'm being honest. Like, they got to be in a series for long ass time.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I doubt they got a better paycheck than Christopher Lee and Samuel L. Jackson, but
Maybe over the long run, like their whole series versus that one movie, maybe.
They get
maybe
the syndication money.
Do they?
When this was on Netflix, and everybody kept on like watching it to get it a new season. They got the residuals there, I think.
Yeah, did you
do
guys
you
watch?
think they did, or do you think they just got a standard paycheck and then they're like, get the fuck out?
Nah, Disney pays their people.
Did you guys watch? Was it season 6 where like half the episodes were unfinished when it was on Netflix? Did you guys watch that?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember watching that. It was very weird.
Yeah, and there was one of the episodes that block of episodes they didn't animate actually turned into the first canon novel, the new canon novel, the Dark Disciple. Dark Disciple? Yeah.
Interesting. Never read that one.
Oh, it's a good one. It's don't want to give you a spoiler for the thing.
Then don't do it. Just don't give it to me.
Okay, cool. It's a Asajj Ventress, and I can't remember what's his name. The one like wild Jedi guy.
Wild Jedi guy.
I can't remember his name.
Kit Fisto. I don't.
Not Kit Fisto, because he's dead.
I don't know.
It's a story with those two. I don't remember.
Wow, spoiler alert. Thanks, Joey. Jeez.
All the Jedi die.
That's not true.
Except for the ones that conveniently keep showing up in other shows.
Exactly.
Yes.
Look, I feel like when they said that Darth Vader went through and killed all the other Jedi, that was just Anakin boasting. And he actually probably killed like 15 people and then just called it a day.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I mean, he had to get back to his little egg pod, so, take a rest. Speaking of Anakin, though, I think that this is my favorite version of Anakin, is Clone Wars Anakin.
Yeah, I agree, because he's not a whiny little cunt.
Yeah, and
Quinlan Voss.
Quinlan Voss is the dude who, he created the path and everything.
Yeah, the wild guy. Anyway, sorry. What we're talking about?
You're talking about we like this version of Anakin the most. At least I do. I don't think Chuck would agree with me.
No,
Ron
I'll
does.
agree.
Yeah.
I think Chuck's
the Clone Wars
out right now. How's it going over there?
I have nothing to contrip. That's the problem.
See, that's where you're going about this wrong. Because then you're like, hey, you remember that one time when Anakin and the mutant dogs attacked a bunch of Grievous's troops and
the Techno Union.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was weird seeing Ahsoka with green lightsabers, and I forgot that she had, or a green lightsaber. I forgot that she had that.
Yeah, she doesn't get she doesn't start dual wielding until later on, does she?
Mm-mm.
Like it's a while into
one
it.
of the show. I thought.
Oh, that's it.
She doesn't do it in the movie.
I thought it was further along than that, because I thought it was something that Anakin decided to give her because he said it would be better for her the way that she fights.
So the last time I watched this movie, and the last time I watched anything prior to season 7 of Clone Wars, was when I did a rewatch before Rise of Skywalker. And even then, I only watched
Rise of Skywalker,
quote unquote essential episodes. It's a really shitty movie at the very end of Star Wars, but we're gonna get to it.
It's when somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. I fell asleep.
Yeah. Oh man. You know what's funny?
I thought it was Rogue One. You fell asleep.
Because I think that one too. But I think I woke up and were they fighting on the Death Star?
Yes.
They fight on
like
the
a Death Star that's like sunk in water or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I remember waking up to that part and being like, "What the fuck did I miss?" And then just shutting it off because I didn't care.
Rise of Skywalker has some great moments sprinkled throughout a terrible story. Like there are some.
I mean, that's the whole last trilogy, though, isn't it?
No, Last Jedi was amazing.
Yeah, Last Jedi was great, and if they would have,
which one was Last Jedi?
Which one is Last Jedi?
Number 8.
The one where the one with Ellie Statler from Jurassic Park is in space and
oh, okay. So whatever happened to the love thing that was going on between
Jeff
the little
and Ellie Statler and
the little Jedi girl that's in those ones, Rey
and
the black dude that was a stormtrooper.
Well, they bring in Lando Calrissian's possibly illegitimate daughter to possibly be Finn's love interest instead in that movie. They just
which is
completely
stupid because
get rid of
Rose
it.
should have been, but whatever. Again, J.J. Abrams just kind of said, "Hey, Ryan Johnson, you did a really good thing here, but I'm gonna throw all that away."
Yeah. J.J. Abrams kind of just really messed everyone up on that one. It's a
did.
bummer. It's a real
It's
bummer.
because he was trying to make these worse than Star Trek so that his Star Trek movies would get some clout.
Honestly, maybe.
I like his Star Trek movies.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. That's why he did it.
But see,
He
I
did
always
those
liked
better
it.
than he
There
did
was
with
never a
Star Wars.
time I didn't. I thought even when people were mad.
I've only seen the two. I need to watch the other two.
Oh, Beyond.
I didn't know that there was more than one of them, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, that's
Beyond is better than whatever
Three.
the Benedict Cumberbatch one it was.
the Wrath of Khan. Well,
Whatever the
Into
Wrath of Khan
Darkness.
one was. I forget what it's called.
Into Darkness, I think.
Yeah, Prince of, what'd you say?
I think it's either Into Darkness or I might be confusing that with the Transformers.
No, you're right. It's Into Darkness because I almost said Dark
Okay.
Side of the Moon, and I think that's either Pink Floyd or the Transformer.
Dark Side of the Moon is both Pink Floyd and Transformers, I believe.
Okay.
Dark of the Moon is Transformers. I believe.
Gotcha.
Still dumb. We'll get to it when we get to it. Yeah.
Isn't that where Superman buried that dude in Superman 4? Was the Dark Side of the Moon?
Was it? Yeah, because he didn't need solar power.
Speaking of
Oh,
Dark
right.
Side of the Moon, did you guys ever see that movie called Iron Sky?
Yes.
Dude,
Wait,
okay.
is
I
that
have
the one
not.
like where the second one has Adolf Hitler on the T-Rex?
Well, I don't know if there's a second Iron Sky, but the first Iron Sky is the Nazis created an establishment on the dark side of the moon
Yes,
after they lost
yes.
World War II, and they've been slowly
Okay.
getting ready to take over the world, and they come take
This
over
is
the world.
important. You need to watch Iron Skies 2.
I didn't even know there was a sequel. I'm so excited.
there's
I gotta go check
three.
this out.
Wait,
There's
what?
Okay, so hold on. Let's see. Let me double check this real quick.
I'd just like to point out I had absolutely nothing to do with the Still Relevant, but continue.
If I ever get an opportunity to bring up either Iron Sky or Escape from Tomorrow, one of those two just batshit crazy movies, I will always bring it up.
I guess there is only two. This third one said Iron Sky 3, The Ark. I don't know if it. Whatever. Anyway, but the second one was called Iron Sky. Whoops. The Coming Race. That came out in 2019.
That's great.
The boys and I watched that on I can't remember if it was Netflix or if it was Amazon, but we were looking for something terrible to watch, and that satisfied every single fucking thing I could ever need from a terrible movie.
Yeah, it's the worst movie and
including
the
Adolf
greatest
Hitler
movie.
riding a T-Rex.
Yeah,
So
Iron
there's
Sky.
a picture
the
of
first
Adolf
one.
Hitler riding T-Rex.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this second one
Wow.
because the first one is just like gold. Cannot wait. I'm so excited. Forget about Don't Look Up. I want.
Apparently
Iron
it's
Sky.
it's on Prime.
Oh
for free.
yes.
So
I'm so excited.
there you go.
Boom. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to bring up some Nazis on
Anyway.
the dark side of the moon.
All right, so back to these two movies, I guess, or movie and series.
So did you guys think that the fight between Anakin and Ventress was kind of comical? Like they're on Yavin 4, which is like a Jedi temple, and they're basically just bouncing around all over the place.
That
Oh,
wasn't
you meant
in
the other movie. Sorry,
I'll be
I
honest,
told you I took
like,
notes on both of them, and I'm definitely weaving my old notes into this because
Uh-huh.
I didn't waste my time watching that movie not to use the fucking notes that I had for it.
I do really appreciate that I waited until
when
all
Mace
three
Windu
of you-
crushes Grievous.
Now, okay, so here's the thing. I will fully admit that the 2D does a better job leading into Revenge of the Sith. Sorry, lost that name for a second. Especially with the Grievous thing, because apparently the voice actor hadn't heard what Grievous was going to sound like. So I think they kind of worked in that his whole body gets kind of hurt. And so that's why he's.
Well, I thought that was just to make him so
having
he could
problems.
actually beat by one Jedi instead of kicking 4 of their
He was
asses.
super overpowered. And
Yeah.
You know what's a great way to not have to worry about making it so Grievous sounds the same in Revenge of the Sith in the 2D series? Just have him sound the same in the 2D series. That would have been a simpler way of doing it, but
but the
far
guy
be it
had
from me.
the guy hadn't heard Grievous yet. That's
Maybe
why
That sounds like a bad pre,
I was going to say,
checkout
maybe if you have a guy who's going to voice a character who's going to be a major part of one of your movies, maybe just have him hear what the guy sounds like for a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know.
But see, that's why I'm not a CEO.
But anyway, exactly. Chuck, you were going to say something before Ron interrupted you.
I don't mind Rise of Skywalker, and I thought Last Jedi kind of really sucked big monkey balls, but that's it. That's all I was gonna say.
You're one of those guys, dude.
We'll
You know what? You know the thing about Rise of Skywalker that really turned me off though the first time I saw it. Like I was having like an epilepsy with how much of Exegol they were showing. Like in the theater, give me such a headache. That damn planet with lightning going off all the time.
Yeah, that's right. My whole thing was that the last Sky or whatever, Last Jedi, whatever it is, suffers
the
from
last Skywalker.
yeah, suffers from the we have to make this 3 movies, so we're just going to stretch this and put a bunch of filler in with it.
That's fair.
And I mean, we'll get there eventually, but there's just a lot of it. I look at it and go, wow, a lot of good people died for no fucking reason for a lot of this to happen. And then we get to Last Skywalker, and up until, brother and sister are still kissing because my brain can't unrewire that. I actually didn't mind it, but it's just me. I accepted that Jedi have more powers. I accepted that. So I was fine with a lot of the changes.
That's nothing. All the things I like about that movie are the things about like how they're passing. They can talk to each other through the Force, and they're passing a lightsaber back and forth. And like, I just think that they did a really awful job of laying the groundwork for this story. It feels like the whole thing feels like a retcon. That's what I don't like about it. That's why I was saying the moments are great. I even love when there's like freaking a bunch of Death Star Destroyers, and they're literally riding space horses on the outside of a Star Destroyer. Like ridiculous, but also looks so cool. But they didn't set any of this up properly. It was just like, I don't feel like any of it was deserved. I just feel like they're like, you know what? It's kind of like when you're like, if you ever do that thing where you're in a circle and people like someone tells one part of a story, then the next person tells the next part, and you have like a really good story going along. Then there's that one asshole at the end who just completely changes everything and goes in a completely different direction. That's what it felt like to me.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. And we can talk more about this in a couple months when we get to those movies.
Let's talk about it now.
It's like a year from now. We have so many more movies to watch.
So long.
It's all going to happen within this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we finish this series, there's going to be that Mandalorian movie out that we're going to have to cover.
Unless I'll just bring you back for that one.
Joe might have just pooped his pants thinking about that, but
I was gonna say like I can make it go until February and make you guys watch the Ewok movies.
What if it's a mini series that gets smashed into a movie? Are we going to count that?
I'm not.
Because Joe
look, I'm already not happy with that Mandalorian bullshit. Mandalorian sucks. The 3rd season was stupid. Hated it.
I actually don't even remember what happened in most of the things.
I don't remember what happened in the 3rd season either.
I stopped watching all Disney series.
I think Grogu got a metal body or something.
Obi-Wan's good.
That's right. Grogu did get a metal body, and he did say yes and no a lot.
Okay, I stand corrected. I did watch Obi-Wan, and I think I remember liking it, but I was only half paying attention most of the time.
That's fair.
They're all the same. They're all
they kind of are.
They are all the same now,
and I don't
except for Andor.
Andor's really great. I couldn't get into it, and I stopped watching it.
And you liked Andor, but you couldn't get through Rogue One. What the hell, man?
Who, me?
You.
Yeah, Andor was pretty good. Rogue One was not as good.
It's the same thing.
Like
literally. But it's not.
You're right, because Rogue One's better because I can't get through Andor. I watched the first episode and I'm just like, I fucking can't do this.
Dude,
like,
you need to get like the first 2.
It started.
If you can't get me in the first episode, then I'm not watching it.
It took me 3 episodes to get into the Mandalorian, so I mean.
Yeah, not that this is all, not to derail too much, but I think we're almost done with this movie. But
yeah, we're not even talking about the movie.
Is there
anymore.
anything to talk about?
Yeah, it's true.
So they take out that shield generator by hiding under a trash can in the middle of the road.
That was a little Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, well, okay, but my thing about it is, like, don't all of those fucking droids have like detectors that pick up like where people are?
No,
like,
isn't that get to the metal? Also,
lead box.
when they
Oh,
stood up,
Superman. Gotcha.
Yeah.
when they stood up and kept walking with the box over their heads, why? Why'd they do that? That was dumb. But then again, they're dumb.
So Anakin could say that you gotta watch where you're going at all times, and then trip over something, because that's what this entire fucking movie's humor was, unless you were a fucking D1 droid. B1.
I will say though, we actually got the B1.
B1.
We actually got the B1 droids to be funny here, but we didn't get them funny in the 2D series.
Because they're not supposed to be funny in the 2D series. It's supposed to be a serious show.
But they were funny in Phantom
Everything
Menace and
else.
Attack the Clones. I don't think they were funny in Revenge of the Sith.
Well,
I don't
slow
think they
down.
really had much of a-
Okay.
I will admit, in the 2D version, those B1 droids were pretty ruthless because they had that big like stomping thing that just completely like
Dude, just like wiped out on like a mile
that was
radius.
pretty
Yeah.
badass. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, why didn't they have more of those throughout the series if that was such an awesome, like, destructive force?
Why didn't all the clones have half the shit they had in that series?
True.
Because
Why didn't the Jedi use their powers like they had?
Because the Separatists operate in overwhelming numbers, not in like singular powerful attacks. The way that the Separatists win is because droids are ridiculously fucking cheap, so they just constantly are just a walking blaster line. Like that's all they're supposed to be. That's how they think that they can win, which is why they lose on a basis. That's why I hate Bebop in this fucking movie, or whatever the fuck he was supposed to be, where he was just like, why are we stopping? Now we have to retreat. What's going on? It's like, you don't even know how your own fucking army works, you dumb butt munch?
At the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, do EMPs not exist in this universe? Because like, wouldn't that just be the easiest way to beat a battle army or droid army every time? Just
It really would.
go drop an EMP every time, and then you're good.
I
feel like they have something similar to that.
They've done the seismic charge. I think that's like the closest they have.
Why don't we just mass produce that?
They've
Yeah,
never done
mass
an
produce it. It's.
Don't
I mean,
they-
we've all seen Oppenheimer.
I haven't actually.
Don't they?
Me
I
neither,
haven't
actually.
either.
I was just using. I just using it as an example.
I know you're good.
Don't they use EMPs in Revenge?
I don't think they
Cheap?
use the EMPs in
I don't think so.
Revenge.
I thought they were hitting those things with like stun sonic blasters.
I don't remember. Well, that's the next movie for our Star Wars rewatch, so we'll just put a pin in that. And we'll get back to it. We'll get to it when we get to it.
I want to find out now.
Well, go watch the movie then.
No.
Okay, good. I guess we don't really have anything else to talk about this movie movie and series. So
how about when
we have something else?
they're doing all their like jumping around and backflips and shit while this little fucking slug is in their backpack and it never once falls out?
He's stuck in there.
Yeah, it's a belt. They got like a seat belt.
The thing is
okay.
rock solid. It's like a metal baby carrier.
Mm-hmm.
How did it not get its like fucking throat slit open with the sharp edge? Explain that to me.
Hutts have a lot of like excess skin as a protective barrier of their throat. Also,
Right.
Unless you're in a bikini with a chain.
they don't
I was
have
gonna
necks.
say, so it can't be.
Oops.
We're not there
Forgot
yet.
about that.
So
it can't be sliced. However, it can be bludgeoned like a chain.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that what we're saying? Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's a very specific weakness.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes
That
a lot of
works.
sense.
that I don't know. I got nothing.
And how dumb did fucking Jabba the Hutt have to be to keep believing Christopher Lee every time he would change his fucking story about what happened?
Well,
Like,
Jabba is the dumbest like drug lord that's ever existed.
And yet the most
it's
powerful.
nepotism, gotcha.
Mhm.
The family name got him through everything.
Exactly.
I understand that. That's like work for me.
Awesome. Well, if we are done,
Sorry.
let's go ahead and move on to our kill count.
Okay, so the Jedi in the
Yes, we're
jungle
not done.
when they're on Yavin 4, when they keep getting ganked by Ventress, that is fucking hilarious. Because it's
Not
like
fair.
cartoonish, like ridiculous, like grabs you
This
out
is
your
the-
feet from underneath you and pulls you into the bushes and shit like
this
that.
is the 2D one, yeah.
It reminded me of the Predator.
Yeah.
Fair.
Ah.
That's
I told you I wasn't wasting my notes, Joey. I
Whatever,
watched the
I-
movie because you didn't tell us until the
You
very last
watched
day.
the TV series and then watch the movie. There's a difference.
Yeah, because that's the order that they came out in, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, so I watched
You
it,
got-
and then you told us.
Do you have anything
After
else,
we watched
Ron?
it.
Are you is that all your notes?
I was kind of bored in the second half of the movie. The Grievous fights got boring after the first one, if I'm being honest, because they made him so OP. That was my last note.
Okay. I will say he was kind of a badass in that 2D.
But he was too much of a badass. Like it made the fights.
He was
you-
OP'd, yeah.
Yeah, because he's definitely not that way in Revenge of the Sith.
Well, no, because he got crushed by Mace Windu.
Because he
Oh,
got
that's true.
crushed. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true. You're right.
It's really hard to be a good
And
fighter
even-
when you
even
can't
in the-
breathe.
Even in the Clone Wars series, the 3D
He was
series,
not nearly as powerful in the
he-
3D series. No.
Mhm.
he wasn't. He was badass at times, but wasn't as like.
Because isn't there like a whole?
2D.
Isn't there a whole plot in one of those where he's trying to get a new body or some shit?
He's got to get replacement parts or something.
Yeah.
I don't even
And like a
remember that.
Padawan and Jedi come upon him, or come upon his castle or something, and
What do they come
I'm
up?
sorry. Come upon as what?
you heard me. So our kill count. Moving on here, I got a total of 164, and I guarantee I was off by some.
Is that
Um,
for both of them or just one of them?
Just the one.
Oh, okay.
A
How
lot
did you
of
have that many?
clones did die. A lot,
And,
Good
and a lot of
clone.
battle
A lot-
droids.
a
And
lot
a
of
lot of
Bothans
droids,
died.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't count droids, I thought.
I know. I count droids. You don't think they have souls.
They don't have souls, and neither do the clones, so technically nobody died in this movie. Hypothetically speaking.
Wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm right.
Bingo. What you got, Ron?
Okay, so bear with me because this is for
Oh wait,
both
hold on.
movies.
Before we do that, sorry. This better not be for both movies, fucker. Jordan, who has a bad feeling?
Well, in the movie we were supposed to watch, nobody. In the movie we weren't supposed to watch, literally everyone, every episode had a
Yeah,
bad feeling.
I think everybody has bad feeling. I know Obi-Wan had it like 2 times. I think Padme said that once or
Padme.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, all right, now Ron, give us our bingo.
All right, so we have comic book logic, unexplainable science, hero kills. We had the fight for control of something. We had dead parents. Let's see, what else did we have? Because I have to. I can't.
Where's the dead parents?
Oh, Anakin's parents are dead, so there's always dead
Yeah, but they don't
parents.
talk about it. They don't talk about
They
it.
Same
do.
way as Batman's parents are always dead, so there's always dead parents.
Batman always talks about it. That's
I
the
guess
problem.
that's true. Are you sure it doesn't get brought up that Anakin's mom died?
Anakin just refuses to talk about it. Like, because
Yeah,
Ahsoka's
see?
like, "Aren't you from here?" And he's like, "I don't want to talk about it."
Yeah.
See there, so it kind of got brought up.
Mm,
I
Not sure
put in
about that one.
betrayal. I put in betrayal by a friend because like Dooku was like supposed to be his friend.
a friend to Jabba. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. And I put in reformed bad guy because Jabba goes from not like wanting to help them to wanting to help them.
There was also Wilhelm scream like twice, I think, in the movie. So
yeah, so that
okay, all right. Chuck,
Yeah.
Spawn Cape Continuum.
Yeah, this looks like this looks like Reboot. Like this is like the same graphics of Reboot, except for it's like 10 years older than Reboot or whatever.
That's fair.
There are sometimes it looks fine. Sometimes but like when there's like a lot of shit going on, it looks really clunky and floaty and like things are not touching the surface of things.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of also not only Reboot, but it also reminds me of did you ever watch the show The New Adventures of Johnny Quest when they would go into the quest world?
I don't think I saw those.
So
nope.
it was like it was a 2D show that they would go into like this virtual like reality and then it would become 3D. and they all walked like with their shoulders like way far back and their arms back here for some reason. Nobody knew why. But the animation was atrocious.
Like a gangster lean or
no, like they had just overly good posture.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Scoliosis. Yes.
Yeah, just like fully, just full back, just tits out. You know what I mean? But like this doesn't hold up. It doesn't look good. It looks worse than the animated series, and it probably had a bigger budget. So I don't know, 3 out of like a lot.
That's fair.
Science.
All right, well, let's move on to our ratings. Jordan, start with you. Out of 10, what do you give this?
What did I give Attack of the Clones? I'm so bad.
I don't know. Don't you have this written down?
I should write these. I should write down what I.
You gave Attack 6.
I'm gonna give this a 5.5. I think that's what I gave Phantom Menace. It's
fine. You gave, probably good.
You gave Phantom. Where look at? I have it written down on a different sheet for everybody. So here we go. You gave Phantom
5.5 for Phantom Menace.
You know what? I'm gonna give this one 6.1. I'm gonna give it a little bit of the comfort feeling. It's objectively not great, but it makes me feel happy.
That's fair.
Again, he knows I'm about to nuke it. So.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, you are.
Bad.
Chuck, what do you got?
All right, is this a Star Wars movie?
0.0008.
No,
anyway.
I'm gonna be fair and justified in it.
Okay.
Is this a Star Wars movie? I don't know. I think it's the first 4 episodes of a Star Wars series, but if we want to say that it's a Star Wars movie, sure, I guess so. It's poor dialogue, which we've already seen from Attack of the Clones. It's a half-ass put together story that just feels like a giant MacGuffin to just bring in Ahsoka, which didn't need to happen anyway. The only redeeming qualities is that sometimes the action was really good. The space battles were kind of neat. Some of the lightsaber stuff was cool. I liked the more bigger scale battles. And the only dialogue that I did enjoy was the droids. Like all the droids were like the slapstick humor comedy, but it was really delivered well. And I didn't understand how you could get that right, but then get everything else wrong. I don't like Kenobi all that much in this because Kenobi's dialogue was just like, well, I'm kind of smart and I'm going to be kind of slappy and zing ya here and there. And then like Anakin was just like edgelord Anakin, which I don't love. And Ahsoka is just a fucking brat. Like it's like Dan Roder or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to say, I gave Attack of the Clones a 1.9, I think.
You gave Attack. Hold on.
Yeah, 1.9.
Yep.
Yeah, I give it a 1.9. You also took away the 2D review. And just for the record, the 2D would have been a 7.8.
That's fair. That's fair.
1.82.
1.82.
Chuck,
hey Jordan.
Well, hang on, Chuck. You were saying that Obi-Wan is like so weird in this one. He's the most Austin Powers he's ever gonna get in this movie. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't like that. Hello there. I don't like that version of Obi-Wan. I like stressed out dad who's just trying to keep the kids from fucking killing each other. Obi-Wan. Yeah. That's my favorite version.
You're gonna get a lot of that in Revenge of the Sith, I think.
That's why I like Revenge of the Sith a decent amount.
Agreed.
Jordan, except for one very specific scene, but
that's fair. We'll get to that in a month. For shits and giggles, what do you give the 2D?
Oh, I can't even give it a valid review because I mean that's like saying like what flu do you like better? I don't like any of it.
Okay.
If I have to think of it objectively and take my like weird animation version out of it,
no, keep that in there.
Give it a 4.
Okay. Ron?
So for the Clone Wars movie, again, like a lot of the like in close fighting, like lightsaber shit was really clunky and really janky. Like Chuck said, the bigger battles looked better because they didn't have to put so much detail into it. And I mean, watching a droid or a clone get blasted like is still kind of funny. But the bad dialect, the shitty like plot, I gave it a 3.0.
Okay. You said 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know why you did the 0.0, but whatever.
Because I thought it was funny.
Science.
What would you give the 2D?
Okay, so if I don't think of it as a Star Wars like canonical movie, I think it's fantastic. But when I put it as an actual Star Wars movie, it definitely loses a lot of it. Like I said, mostly because everybody is so overpowered. Everybody moves like fucking lightning, and it just I don't know. It kind of it doesn't fit with the rest of Star Wars, I guess. So I'd give that one like a 4.5.
Okay.
It's because it made Star Wars fucking cool for like a hot second. That's why.
I mean, I'll agree. Like, I really like the 2D. It every time, like the entire time I'm watching it, it's Samurai Jack. I'm just seeing Samurai Jack characters left and right, and I loved Samurai Jack. The story was a lot better. I really enjoyed it when that came out because it was a nice lead in into Revenge of the Sith, and I love that. So like for me, I would give that like a 7.5, the 2D a 7.5 because it was just amazing. But we're not talking about that one. We are talking about the Clone Wars movie, and that one I was not as happy with it. I hadn't watched this in forever, and I forgot how, I don't want to say bad, but I definitely remembered it being better. So I don't. That's no, I did that wrong. Yeah. I gave it a 4.6. This was it's a fine movie. I don't think I'll ever watch it again until I do my full rewatch in like a year or two. And I'm fine with that. The animation, the way it is now compared to what we get in season 7, in Bad Batch, in Rebels. Like, and it's all the same animation. It's just it's smoother, it's better, it's nice. But that gives us a combined score of 3.88. I had to redo that real quick because apparently I divided by 3 and not 4. So I had to go fix that.
And the Star Wars shorts gave us a 5.95, I believe.
5.95 for that one because that one was better. We seem to like that objectively better.
Except for Zy Guy over there.
Except for Zy Guy.
So at a 3.88, that drops it in at number. I lost it. Number 67, just behind Superman and the Mole Men, and just above Ultimate Avengers 2. Yeah, I definitely watch this over Ultimate Avengers 2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sometimes I think you guys make up these movies in this that you are.
Have you not been listening?
The Mole Man
the beginning,
and the Blue Group meets the Predator. Like,
dude, Superman the Mole Man is from 1951. It was a bonkers movie.
It was fucking weird, but it was still better than some of the movies we've watched since then. So,
oh my gosh,
yeah, that's 100 times better than Catwoman any day of the week.
Yeah, 100%. I would watch that again before I'd watch Halle Berry's Catwoman again.
Yep. So yeah, there we go. So that being said, Jordan, where can they find you if they want to find you?
Yeah, go check me out Instagram, BS and Craft Beer. I don't know. I don't do much on there anymore, but hey, come check me out. So see some beers I posted from like 3 months ago.
Beers. Chuck?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, Kicked Out of the Hood, No Ian Kicked. You can find my hobby stuff on Instagram, Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Ian Kicked. You can follow my kitchen stuff. TikTok got kicked out of the kitchen, knowing and kicked. Hey, at time of release, if Helldivers 2 is still a thing and people care about it, message me on Instagram because I need help most likely playing it because I need friends and I'm tired of getting screamed at by randos that I don't know what I'm doing. So
You'd rather be screamed at by friends that you don't know what you're doing.
yeah, at least that's more justifiable. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fair.
100%. Yep.
I have a bone to pick with you, Chuck. I'm not getting tagged on stuff on a daily basis anymore.
Oh, I'll tell you offline. I'll tell you
Okay.
offline. There's a reason.
Okay.
There's drama, and I'll tell you offline.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Ron, where can I find you?
Good at this game on TikTok and Instagram, and then you can find my art page at Good Art This Game on Instagram.
Very good. You guys
Joey?
can find the show on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown, on Threads at Comic Book Rundown. Email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on the podcasting app of choice. We will read it on an upcoming episode, maybe eventually, if I ever remember, but we don't really have any ratings. Actually, I haven't checked in a while. I should probably check that.
You should probably check
Maybe
that.
we have
yeah.
like 3 ratings. Yeah.
We got 8 of
we've
them.
got
They're all
merch
from
over-
Pony Danza.
Probably. We got merch over in Redbubble and TeePublic, and our song was done by Cam. So our next movie, Jordan said he was graciously going to come back for this. We've got Toxic Avenger Part 2.
What? No, I
From
said I'm busy that day.
1989. Oh, okay. Man.
Dude, I don't
Figured
know
I
if I
could
can handle
corn
any
you
more
and-
Toxic Avenger movies.
I think Jordan needs
Oh,
to
come on.
come
There's only
to-
4 of them.
I think Jordan needs to come on to balance that score out because I'm going to score real high.
Yeah.
So
But you know what's funny? Do you guys remember the Disney movie
don't-
My
you don't
Date
have
with the
to.
President's Daughter?
I do actually.
So I
'Cause
rewatched
I had
it recently.
Eric Matthews.
Yes, I rewatched it recently because Will Friedle, who plays Eric Matthews from Boy Meets World, he has a podcast where him and the girl from the Cheetah Girls are going back and watching this stuff. I rewatched it. When him and the girl in that movie go to the theater to watch a movie, they're watching Nukem High.
Nice.
Not really.
They are. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. They're watching Nukem High.
That's actually kind of funny. I like that.
That was fun.
Oh, well, everybody, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you all next time.
Bye.
Bye. Don't forget to stop for this review. Thank you from MCU.